Cleveland Browns OTA yesterday. I'm not great at math, but let's put the numbers up for the television audience. It appears in the 4-quarterback derby. Again, not a mathematician, but one of them has more TDs than completions. That feels important to me. Despite the fact that Shedeur Sanders had the fewest attempts, he was the most efficient and most productive with the fewest reps. Shedeur Sanders should be starting. We are calling Ohio as the projected winner in a race that is not as close as the fake news. I mean, we're all idiots at some point. We all had, lack of judgment or self-awareness. So I'm not going to crush anybody for that. But I think he's really talented.
And it's May for Shedeur Sanders. Okay, got it. Okay. OTA stats.
Shedeur's look good, though. His ball placement is elite. His ability to layer throws is elite. I think he's got plenty of arm strength. We've seen that on display, certainly in camp at times. There's something about Shedeur. I got a chance to interview him. He is very confident, but not in a cocky way. Has a lot of belief in himself. I like him. I like the kid a lot. I was very into the Browns taking him in the first round. In my tape study of him,
he's talking about overall in life. I made some wrong choices personally, and I got owned up to him. I made some, not great choices.
He's saying that because he's an accountable person.
I learned
from the real people.
I learned.
It's not. He don't be doing it.
I learned.
This is a young kid being a young kid. First off, the main thing that he needs to understand, number one, this is a lesson. He's not the first person to get a speeding ticket. It's not that big of a deal. Number one, get your butt in the house at a good time, right? Because it's lessons. Number two, Mama used to tell me a lot of stuff, but Grandma taught me a lot too.
Okay, what Grandma say?
And Grandma always used to tell me once I started making plays and all that in college, she said, grandson, it's a lot of people want to see you lose. Don't give them any opportunity to see you lose.
Shedeur taking fewer reps, do you think that's a bad sign?
No, not at all. It's too early for all of that. He just arrived. He's a rookie. And by the way, while you're looking at him, you also want to see what Dillon Gabriel will bring to the table, along with others. Kenny Pickett is on this squad. He's relatively young, even though I don't think that he's the face of the franchise for the future. Okay, of course, Joe Flacco is an experienced veteran. You got him there as a security blanket. You should have had him there last year. Okay, but when I look at Shedeur Sanders, I mean, when you consider what he did, his career completion percentage is the best in the FBS, more than 71%. For his career. He completed 74% of his passes last year, despite being sacked about 42 times. Okay, 90 plus times over the 2 years that he was at Colorado. The brother can play. But what you drafted in the fifth round, 144th overall. We all know how bogus that was. We know that there's more to it than just his football skill. But him being there, you want to test a lot of things about Shedeur Sanders. And most of it, of course, his skill set is one thing because you want to make sure he can play on this level. But his temperament, his willingness to handle, not ability, because we know he has the ability, but his willingness to handle adversity. His willingness, you want to see if you're the Browns, how he's going to react to not being with the first team, all right, not being QB1 and taking a step back. You want to see how he's going to react while they're taking a look at Dillon Gabriel. You want to see what his temperament is like and what have you, because of all the things that have been said about him. So I don't have a problem with it at all. I thought he gave perfect answers yesterday, but more importantly, Cleveland testing him this way doesn't bother me either, because what you're trying to do is cement what you believe you already know about his character, not just his play. And I think that it's good for a young person in his position to be put through those tests, because ultimately you're going to be tested. So why not start from scratch and try to test them?
Let's talk Cleveland Browns, because something's brewing behind those locker room doors, and it's got the whole NFL paying attention. Rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders, a fifth-round draft pick, has lit a fire under this team. His performance during OTAs hasn't just impressed. It's sparked a full-blown conversation about the future of the Browns' quarterback room. But before we get to the off-field headlines, let's start with the numbers. Because when it comes to what he's doing on the field, Sanders is giving the Browns something to think about. The Browns are in the middle of a true quarterback competition. 4 names in the mix: Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and the new kid on the block, Sanders. And while Shedeur had the fewest reps in recent practice sessions, he made every single one count. The rookie logged 9 touchdowns and just 1 interception, more scores than some of his competitors had completions. Even more impressive, he completed 74% of his passes. That's elite by any standard. especially for a player who was under constant pressure last year at Colorado, where he was sacked and eye-popping 42 times. His accuracy, his ability to make layered throws, and the confidence behind his arm, it's winning over some serious football minds. Former wide receiver James Jones didn't hold back, saying, "Has the most talented quarterback on that roster. You've got to start him week 1. Not everyone agrees, of course. And that brings us to the second part of this story, the part that's stirring up controversy in Cleveland. Just as Sanders seemed to be gaining momentum, a misstep off the field pulled the spotlight in a different direction. Late one night in Strongsville, Ohio, police clocked a rookie doing 101 miles per hour on I-71. That's 41 over the limit, driving a Dodge Ram TRX. And here's the kicker. This was his second speeding ticket in the same month. NFL commentators didn't hold back. Mary Kay Cabot was quick to point out the optics why is a rookie quarterback in the middle of a crucial competition out that late. Veteran broadcaster Rich Eisen summed it up plainly. If we're talking about something other than football, it's a bad look. To his credit, Sanders responded with maturity. He released a brief statement that owned the mistake. "I've made some bad choices and I'm learning from them. No excuses." Supporters like LaShawn McCoy are defending him, calling it growing pains for a young man learning life under the microscope. But the Browns front office is watching closely. This team has no tolerance for distractions. So is this just a slip-up or something bigger? Despite being listed 4th on the depth chart, Sanders is making his presence felt. Inside the Browns locker room, he's earning the respect of teammates, and that matters. According to ESPN's Chad Johnson, star cornerback Denzel Ward said Shedeur isn't like most rookies. He's calm, composed, and his quiet confidence is making an impact. When asked if he's ready to challenge Flacco for the starting role, Sanders simply said, "We've got preseason first." That wasn't just a neutral answer. It was a message, and people noticed. An assistant coach inside the organization was quoted anonymously saying, "In 15 years, I've never seen a rookie control a minicamp like this." Still, there are plenty of skeptics. They point to his draft position, pick 144, as proof the league didn't see him as a high-end prospect. And now with 2 speeding tickets in the span of a month, some wonder whether he's mature enough to handle the pressure. But here's the reality: Deshaun Watson is sidelined for 2025. Joe Flacco is aging. The door is open. The only question is, can Sanders walk through it? What we're witnessing isn't just a quarterback battle, it's a battle of narratives. Guys like Colin Cowherd are criticizing Sanders' judgment. When you fall to 144 in the draft and then try to match that number behind the wheel, that tells me a lot. But not everyone's buying into the criticism. Analysts like Emmanuel Acko and Leon McCoy argue there's more going on here. Maybe even some bias in the way Sanders is being covered. They can't tear down his performance. McCoy said, "So they're spinning his personal life." Acko added, "You sign a 22-year-old for his upside, not because he's perfect. You expect him to learn." And James Jones, he quoted his grandmother, "Grandson, people want to see you fall. Don't give them the chance." So far, Sanders isn't giving them the chance. He's accepting responsibility. He's performing at a high level. And he's proving his college numbers. That 71% career completion rate weren't a fluke. The big question now, are we holding young quarterbacks to impossible standards? Or does Sanders need to rein it in if he wants to survive the unforgiving world of the NFL? The story's still unfolding. But one thing's for sure. The Browns' locker room is a pressure cooker right now. And Sanders, he might just be the spark. Is this the quarterback Cleveland has been waiting for? Or will the outside noise and the expectations bring his rise to a halt? Let me know what you think in the comments. Should Sanders start week 1? Or is the team moving too fast? If you appreciated the breakdown, give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next update. This is Celeb Dark, where we dig deeper than the headlines and tell it like it is.